Hi there, my name's Alana and I'm absolutely obsessed with luxury makeup and I have a real passion for some of the brands I'm going to be talking about today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 3 favorite products from 3 of my favorite makeup brands. Now I've seen this video going around on YouTube and I've seen a lot of people do 5 favorite products from 5 favorite brands. So what I've decided to do is do this video in 2 parts. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 3 favorite products from 3 of my favorite brands, and the thing that unites these brands is, in my mind, they're like makeup best friends. And by that, what I really mean is that they're makeup artists. And if you know me, if you watch luxury makeup YouTube, I guarantee you can guess what 3 brands I'm talking about. And later this week, I'm gonna have another version of this video where it's gonna be focused on luxury fashion houses. So 3 of my favorite makeup brands that come from luxury fashion houses. And I'm just gonna give you a hint for that video. All 3 of those houses are based in Paris, France. So with that being said, let's focus on today's video. It should come as absolutely no surprise that we are talking about my besties, Charlotte Tilbury, Natasha Denona, and McGrath. I talk about these 3 brands a ton on my channel. I'm gonna leave some other videos I think you'll find interesting that are related to the products we're talking about linked down below. But without any further ado, let's get started. So if you're familiar with my channel, you are going to be absolutely shocked by what brand I'm talking about first. It's a brand I very rarely, that's a lie, speak about. Charlotte Tilbury. Now, I'm just gonna put this out there. I had a really hard time narrowing down what are my 3 favorite Charlotte Tilbury products. Now, 2 other videos that I think that you'll find interesting, I'm gonna leave a link down below. I recently did a collaboration with Morgan Turner where we talked about our 7 favorite Charlotte Tilbury products that aren't pillow talk. So I'm gonna leave that link down below. Also going to leave my top 3 favorite makeup products by category. So those 2 videos, we talk a lot about Charlotte, but we're gonna talk more about Charlotte. So you know what, let's get into my top 3 Charlotte products. Now I wanna start by saying I had a really hard time narrowing it down because truly Charlotte Tilbury is my favorite makeup brand. Across the board, she is consistently good in every single category. And I can't really say that's true for the next 2 brands I'm about to speak about. But my first favorite Charlotte Tilbury product, probably the first product that made me fall in love with the brand, we have the Filmstar Bronze and Glow. First of all, look at the size of those pans. If nothing else, like that is a sign of true love. You know, like when I tell my husband I love him, sure. When I tell my friends they look pretty, sure. But this is true love. Like that is a pan, okay? And I do not pan products. You can't see it in the frame, but I have piles of makeup everywhere in this room. So for me to hit pan on something, that means I really love it. Really quick, I've gone on ad nauseum about this bronzer in other videos. But what I love about the bronzer, first of all, I'm wearing it today. And it is the perfect neutral bronzer. It has a subtle hint of radiance, so it really warms up my face. It brings in just that dimension, that glow. It's cool toned enough that I can use it in the hollow of my cheek to just give myself a little bit of a sculpt, kind of a bronze tour vibe, but it's warm enough that it warms up my face, which I think is crazy that somehow the color does both things. And then on top of that, in addition to being a stunning bronzer, it also has the prettiest pale gold highlighter. So really beautiful, slightly above Lit from Within Glow. You know, it has a touch more. It's not like a crazy beaming to outer space highlight by any means. Again, I'm wearing it today, but to me it just gives a really soft, pretty candlelit glow. And what I love so much about that is it is work appropriate. Now, personally for myself, I have a corporate office downtown type of job. So while I absolutely love crazy, fun, colorful makeup looks, honestly, I'm a neutral girl at heart, and neutral is what I wear most of the time. One other thing I'm gonna say about this palette is for all my friends with a similar complexion to me, I recommend it all the time. I've turned so many friends onto Charlotte, onto this product, and I don't think you can go wrong. The last thing you should know about this product is it does come in a deeper option. Okay, so now my next Charlotte Tilbury product. This is another one of those products that I have loved from the minute I fell in love with the brand. And that is the Cheek to Chic blush in First Love. Now, this blush is very, very light, very neutral. Now, what I love about this blush is it gives you a little bit of sculpting with the lighter shade on the outside. Also gives you a little touch of kind of a rosy peach to go on your cheek. But ultimately, what I love about this blush is it is so neutral. So I can wear any lipstick, any eyeshadow, and I know it's gonna come together beautifully. And so if you are the kind of person who wants to wear something bolder on your eyes, wants to wear a bolder lip, and struggle with finding the right blush to balance, if you have a similar complexion to mine, I think you're gonna really love this one. And my final Charlotte Tilbury product that I am sharing today will come as an absolute shock to nobody. And I'm also gonna say that I have a friend sitting beside me. You can't see her on camera, but she is just like 3 feet away from me. We're gonna be filming some videos together, but I took a little longer to get ready this morning, and so she's being very gracious in watching me film this one. But we were ranting about this. This is Exagger-Eyes from Charlotte Tilbury. We were texting about it the other day, and she was like, I've been wearing this every day for a month. She was like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I'm like, true. This is a fantastic eyeshadow palette. Personally, I find that the Pillow Talk palette pulls a little bit too warm, a little bit too orange on me, and it doesn't make me feel my prettiest. This palette, while it doesn't look like it would look great in the pan, like it kind of looks a little odd, all together on the eye, it looks stunning. Now, something you should keep in mind is the crease shade is actually a shimmer, kind of a bit of a satiny shimmer shade. Not the kind of shade that you would typically expect to put in your crease, but Charlotte never leads us in the wrong direction, and that shade, somehow it just makes your eyes look big and bright and open. The only thing I don't really love is the pop shade, but I don't love Charlotte's pops in general. That's like my only critique of her entire brand, okay, which, you know what, it's okay. Don't really love the pop. I'm really prone to hard pan. Definitely use your finger to put that on, and I just don't find the sparkle adds that much to the look. I mean, look, it looks nice, but together, this is just a perfect, everyday, work appropriate, but like not boring, you know? It has a little something in it that makes it just come together so beautifully, that great for work, great for going to an event. Honestly, I would even wear this to a wedding. Like if I was ever a bride again, which I hope I'm not, because like I like my husband a lot, but like maybe if I was going to a wedding, maybe if like I was doing a friend's like makeup for her wedding, this would be a palette I would definitely consider. So those are my top 3 Charlotte Tilbury products. And guys, it feels so crazy to have distilled my love for the brand into 3 products. That was the hardest one for me. So now we are gonna get on to the other 2 brands, which I had a much easier time figuring out what my top 3 products were. The next brand we're gonna be speaking about is Natasha Denona. And while Charlotte is incredible at being consistently fantastic across all categories, that isn't really the experience I've had with Natasha Denona. Now, I like the lipstick I've tried from her brand, I like the blushes I've tried, but they don't really knock my socks off. But the one area where Natasha truly succeeds, an area where she is absolutely fantastic, is eyeshadow palettes. And I'm actually working on a video for you guys where I'm gonna be ranking all of my Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. And I didn't realize how many of them I have, but I have a lot. So I'm gonna be ranking these in 3, 2, 1. So in 3rd place, we have the Natasha Denona Love Palette. Let's start by appreciating the beautiful pink package. Now, when I first saw this palette, I was like, not that into it. I'm just saying, I just wasn't really that into it. It was a lot of pink. But over the course of the last year, so I didn't buy this when it first came out. I sat on it and like I waited a year, and I actually bought it when it was on sale for half off. Pro tip. When I first saw it, it was too pink. Now I've recently like over the last year, come around to really enjoying pink eyeshadow. And I find the colors actually really flattering. It's a really fun palette to use. It has lots of beautiful shimmers, really solid, consistent formula, and every time I wear it, I just feel so pretty. Now, the next palette coming in at number 2 is Natasha Denona's Biba palette. Now, I want to start by saying that the Biba palette is stunning. I wish I could place it in first place, but at this palette size, it costs $170 Canadian, which is a lot of money. Whereas her midi palettes are, I believe they're about $85. So they are less than half as much money for the midi palette. The biggest difference between the larger and the smaller palettes, you get basically the same number of shadows, but the pans are bigger. And as I mentioned, I have a very big makeup collection. I don't really pan products. So a bigger pan, it just, honestly, I'm not gonna use this before it like expires or goes bad or something new comes on the market. So in a perfect world, the Biba palette would be in the midi size. And if that was the case, it'd be my number 1. I love this palette. I always feel so beautiful wearing it. So many wonderful neutral options. I tend to stick around like Freckle, Buff, Shine, and Monroe. Those are sort of the colors I reach for the most. but every time I use this palette, I'm just so happy with it. Beautiful formula, perfect for every day. I just, like, honestly, if I could only own one eyeshadow palette, this would be a top contender. We're not gonna contemplate that because I don't wanna think about that, but if I had to think about it, it would be a top contender, which means that my #1 Natasha Denona palette is Glam. Now what's crazy is when she released Glam, again, I was like, I'm not really into the cool tones, but there's enough cool tones and also neutral tones in this palette to create so many beautiful everyday looks. So you can see the size difference. You're getting approximately the same number of shadows, is it? 5 and 3. The same number of shadows in each palette. It's just like I said, the pan size in the midi is so much smaller, but I find so much more manageable. So the #1 reason that this one edges out Biba is on price. It's less than half as much for a similarly beautiful neutral set of options. Again, I love this palette. I'm wearing it today. I don't tend to reach for silver tones. I find that they're generally not as flattering on me, but every time I open up this palette, I'm just like, you know what? I could make a silver tone work. And I'm pretty happy with the taupey silver eye that I put together today. This palette, so beautiful. The only thing I find kind of weird is that she's named the shadows where they're supposed to be placed, and I kind of just wish that they had fun names, because honestly, you can put these shadows wherever you want. But if you're newer to makeup, you might find that really helpful so you can kind of figure out where to put them. So anyways, this palette, love it, obsessed, 10 out of 10. And that means we are at the final brand that we are speaking about today, Miss Pat McGrath. Now, Pat is someone who I have fallen in love with over the last 2 years. I've been really diving into her brand, trying more from her. I'm eagerly awaiting my holiday makeup order. I ordered some of her quads. They haven't arrived yet. So Pat, if you could improve your shipping to Canada, that'd be great. But the reason I buy from Pat directly rather than Sephora is Pat always has the most incredible sales. So it's kind of a catch-22, but ultimately the price wins out for me. But like, I wish it would show up a little sooner. Anyways, I also had a really tough time narrowing down with Pat McGrath. I will say that Pat is similar to Charlotte in the sense that when she does something, she does it well. And I found that overall, I've pretty much liked, you know, products in every category that she's released. So I'm gonna start off, I think we're gonna rank them 3, 2, 1. So in third place, we have her Divine Rose Matte Lipstick. So that is the lipstick I'm wearing today. And first of all, it is probably one of the most comfortable mattes I've ever tried on. Feels so good on my lips. It's not drying, and I have pretty dry skin, so I find when products are drying, I just have to get them off my face ASAP. That is not the case with this lipstick. I find it has a good wear time, I find it looks really nice, and I find it really comfortable. In second place, we have a product that everyone begged her to release, and she finally did, and that is her blushes. So this blush Without Caution is in the shade Fleurtatious. And if you haven't figured this out about me, I really love neutral light pink blushes. It's the blush I'm wearing today. Again, it gives me that sort of tart exposed, but better, you know, a little bit of brightening, a subtle sculpt, and just a really pretty flush. I always feel beautiful when I'm wearing this blush. And I mean, look at the rose embossment. Just stunning, just a stunning blush. And I honestly, one thing I'm really hoping to pick up this Black Friday is a few more of the blush shades, because like, I wish I could have them all. But this is a really pretty shade. And again, fantastic formula. Some of her blushes are matte, some of them are a little bit of a shimmer, a little bit of a glow to them, but I find both formulas absolutely stunning. And in a move that will surprise nobody, my #1 favorite Pat McGrath product is the original Divine Rose palette. Now I love these sort of mauve neutrals, these sort of pinky, just a beautiful mix of colors. Her palettes are really expensive. Again, they retail for 170 Canadian dollars, which I find kind of nauseating to think about, if we're being honest. And I'm gonna have a real, like, honestly, it's really difficult to tell anyone that a $170 eyeshadow palette is worth it. But she typically does have some great sales throughout the year where you can get about 35% off on her website. And I find that that brings it down to a price point where I'm willing to entertain. This palette, personally, I bought while full price. I did buy it with gift cards that were gifted to me, and so it really felt like a wonderful splurge. And every time I dip into this palette, I'm just always really happy with it. I find it super flattering. I find it's easy to work with. I love all of the different formulations that she includes in her palettes, from the duochromes to like the shimmers and the mattes, and I just find that she does a great job on all of her formulas. So there we have it, my top 3 favorite products from 3 of my favorite brands. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm gonna leave some videos linked up here for you to check out. And stay tuned, because later this week I'm gonna be sharing with you my top 3 favorite products from 3 of my favorite fashion house brands. So I'm just saying, they're 3 brands that are based in Paris. Leave a comment down below if you can guess what those brands are, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Mwah.